John, Nat, good to see you guys again. Last night was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. Thank you for your great hosting, but yeah, it was crazy.
Oh man,
insane. I mean, the level of the screaming was I can't. I'm half deaf. Yeah.
I'm still trying to recover my hearing here. This is the front page of the Plain Dealer, the newspaper here in Cleveland.
Wow.
Perhaps we could just take a look at some of the stuff that's going on here.
This guy's my hero. Because I suspect he's probably there for one of his kids, and he's just that's great parenting. Or if he was there for us, that's awesome too.
Yeah.
And then I hope that these people are okay. They seem awesome. They're wearing okay shirts, which means that they probably like the book. But yeah, it was just so great. People were so nice. I mean, Cleveland welcomed us so wonderfully. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, when you were writing this book, John, did you ever think that it would turn into something like this?
Yeah, of course I did. No. No, I mean, I could never have imagined this. This has just been an amazing experience, and I'm just so grateful to everyone who made the movie. They did such a great job. They really honored my book, and I just feel really lucky.
The turnaround here is really quick. Like, your book came out, and then within that month, you had already signed the movie deal. Can you kind of walk me through how that happened?
Yeah, it was particularly quick considering that I didn't let anyone read it before it came out, and I did not want to sell the rights. But the producers, Wick and Isaac, just made a very compelling case that they were going to make a really faithful adaptation. It's not easy to make a movie in Hollywood where the main character has tubes in her nose for the entire movie. But they did it, and they kept their promise to stay faithful to the book.
Well, and it's not just Hazel's character, it's every single one of these characters. Yeah. They all have some sort of inherent flaw that, stays with them for the whole film.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a flaw, but they're all living with with disability.
Right.
And it was important to me that all of the characters in the movie be living with disability and with illness, because a lot of times in these stories, it's about some healthy person learning lessons from sick people, and I just wanted to take the healthy people out of it and argue that everybody's life has meaning, and the meaning of your life is not about other people all the time.
Yeah, and the characters' flaws have nothing to do with their illness. I mean, they are flawed
they are
characters.
Flawed,
yeah. True.
Yeah, but they're nothing. I mean, they're not. Because the stereotypical cancer characters that they're perfect besides their cancer, but in this movie, no, they're just regular teenagers with flaws. They happen to have an extraordinarily awful circumstance.
So Nat, set this up for me. How did this come together for you? And what was the timeline like that?
I loved the book. At the end of the book, I was like, John Green really gets me, and I feel like that's how all those crazy people in that picture in the cover of the newspaper
You're one
feel.
of those crazy people.
I am, yeah.
I don't think they're crazy.
Yeah.
I think they're awesome.
Yeah, crazy in a good way. But then, I just feel lucky to be a part of that project and get to play such a great, funny, but also with a character with depth, and it's exciting.
And you wear sunglasses the whole film. We talked a little bit about this last night, but that was like a big process, picking out the right pair of sunglasses.
Yeah, I mean, I had to be actually blind, so I was going to black out whatever sunglasses I wore, so I couldn't actually see. But yeah, I wanted to get Isaac's a teenager who cares about the way he looks, just like any other teenager. Yeah. So no matter if he's, sick or not, he wants to look good.
John, I read that you were at first intimidated about taking on this story. What was it that changed your mind?
Well, I was really good friends with a young woman named Esther who died of cancer in 2010 when she was 16. And, through our friendship, I didn't feel confident, I guess, about telling the story. It was really important to me not to appropriate anyone's story, and Esther's life is very different from the story in the novel. But I just couldn't not write about it anymore, so I did.
We see in the film how much fan mail that Van Houten gets. How much do you get?
A lot. Yeah, quite a bit right now. Yeah, so I've become a bit Van Houten-y about it, actually.
I mean, you probably wish that you could write back to everyone.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And actually, on your website, the Q&A that you do on there is unbelievable.
Yeah, I try to explain why right now it's just really overwhelming, but it means a lot to me, and I love hearing from my readers, whether it's via email or via letter. I mean, it's so wonderful because a book in some ways doesn't feel real to me until it's read, and each time it's read, it has a different kind of life in the mind of that reader. So it's just wonderful to hear from them.
I mean, and that must be so interesting because when you're writing this, you have a certain thought in your mind and a certain way that this makes you feel. isn't it just absolutely incredible to you that other people reading this are taking completely different things from this?
Yeah, that's one of the wonderful things about books is that they do belong to their readers, and every time I read a book, I get to be kind of in a way in control of it. You know, I get to draw the meaning from it that I can find.
We talk a little bit about Van Houten, and that's the wish in the book, to meet Van Houten. For you guys, John, Nat, who would be your Van Houten?
Oh, that's a good question.
Mr. John Green.
No, shut it. Who would be your real Van Houten?
Probably Paul McCartney. Meeting Van Houten. I hope Paul wouldn't be mean to me like Van Houten. But, you know, and he wouldn't. I know he wouldn't. That's not like Paul. Paul wouldn't do that to me.
John, what about you?
Oh, man, that's a tough question. I mean, the writer who probably changed my life the most was Toni Morrison. Cool. So I'd love to meet Toni Morrison.
Well, everyone watching this right now, you know, they know your story. At least they think they know your story. What's your real story, though? What's your hobbies, your passions, your weird obsessions, or your weird fetishes?
There is. I mean, the only unusual hobby that I have is that I am a massive, to the point of it being a character flaw, fan of Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And I, you know, besides being an actor, I'm in a band with my brother, and that's kind of like whenever I'm not working on film, that's basically what I'm doing.
But I feel like everyone already knows that.
Yeah, you got to get something better now.
You want my foot fetish? I don't know.
That's what Shailene said. I'm not even joking.
You did? Really? Yeah. That's probably why we get along, I guess. Yeah. You like feet. Is that weird?
Yeah, that's great.
So what's the question? Like weird hobbies?
No, what's something that someone watching this right now just doesn't know? Like maybe you love, I don't know, collecting something or...
Yeah. I tell everyone everything. I don't know. Let me see. What's a weird? I'm like an obsessive Beatles fan, I guess.
You are a weird Beatles fan, not like a regular Beatles fan.
Yeah,
He's like a weird
obsessive Beatles fan.
Like one time I asked him who his favorite Beatle was, and it like sent him into an existential crisis.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't deal with that question. Yeah.
Well, so did you have time to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame while you were here?
I have been. Yeah.
Okay,
Last time I was
good.
in Cleveland, I went. It was amazing. Yeah. I loved it there. Shit, we should have gone.
No cursing in the interview.
I didn't say. I said shoot.
Shoot. No, you
I
didn't.
said shoot.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
I said shoot, dude. I said shoot. That's what a teacher did to me when we were in third grade. There's this teacher and she was like, said the S word.
Ooh,
and we all heard it and we were in second grade. And we all turned around. What? And her assistant teacher goes, she said shoot. She said shoot. I was like, no, she didn't. I heard her. She didn't say shoot. That wasn't shoot.
I like how that was your go-to when you said it. I said shoot. That's what I said.
Yeah, I kept with my teacher's method worked. Somehow I believed them. I was like, that was the first time I was tricked by a teacher.
And I mean, think of how many more times you've been tricked ever since.
Yeah.
True.
John tricked me into loving him.
Oh.
Oh, that's cute. John, we hear so much about an imperial affliction in the book, and because we hear so much of it, do you almost feel like you're the author of that book?
Well, I wish that I could write a book that good. I mean, one of the great things about books that don't exist is that they can be better than books that do exist because they can be perfect, and books that do exist can't be. So I think I'm going to leave it there. Like, I'm going to leave it in the realm of perfection.
Van Houten has a serious issue with talking about these characters outside of the realm of the book. Are you okay with talking about what happens with Isaac or Hazel after your book is done?
No, that is one thing that Van Houten and I have in common. I do not. I don't think that the author's voice should be privileged in matters outside the text of the book, because I think that books belong to their readers. I ended the book where I chose to end it. Even if I were to later regret that and to feel like I should have continued on the book, I didn't. So I've got to like suck it up and let the book belong to its readers.
What has been the biggest surprise for you in this whole trip? I mean, and there's still a month till the movie comes out.
It's great to see people so excited about the movie. I worried a lot that fans of the book, the fans of the book, like me, they care a lot about the book, and I think there's a lot of people to whom it's very meaningful, and I worried that they would be kind of afraid of the movie, but they've really embraced the movie, and I think that the movie embraces them as well. I think that it's such a faithful adaptation that people are really going to respond to it. So that's been a surprise and a huge relief.
Sure.
I was really surprised about how mature and smart all the kids that come to the things are, because you never know, like, with something that's got so much excitement, and I mean they've been asking us, doing Q&As and asking us questions, and they're all so, and I think it's because John sets a good precedent for them. I think they want to be like John. I think he's their hero. So they're all super intelligent and well spoken, and the questions are amazing. I mean, it's better than most adult Q&As.
Way better than these questions.
No, they're like, it's like we're talking to adults, like
Yeah.
this, like, and we've also been lucky that it's like I think it seems like smart kids really love your books.
Yeah, well, I'm really grateful for my readers. Like, it's fun to be able to like your readers, and I really, really like them. They're super cool. They're super interesting. Yeah, they're really smart and fun to hear from.
I saw the movie earlier this week, and I'm not afraid to admit I cried. I did. That's okay, right?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, did you leave the theater feeling like kind of happy though?
Yeah, but also like, oh man, I better like let everyone that I love know that I love them.
That's perfect. Yeah, it's a
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good movie to me. Yeah, I mean, I cried when I watched it, and I watched the whole thing be filmed, and I wrote the book, so I had a pretty good understanding of what was going to happen, but it was just very moving to me.
Me too. I know the book inside and out. I know the script inside and out. I was on set, and I still cried. I was like, why is this happening? Yeah.
Did you cry writing this?
Yeah, I cried every day for months.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm sure that people at Starbucks thought I was weird because I'd get there every morning like 8 in the morning, and I'd open up my computer, and I'd basically just cry for 3 hours, and I'd close my computer and leave. So, yeah, I mean, that's true. They
Did you
didn't
get any writing done?
Just a lot of crying, no.
I mean, that's how I wrote the book.
That is so funny.
I mean, a lot of it was written in grief, but also it was sad. I mean, I felt bad. I was sad, and it was sad, and it was helpful to me. But yeah, I did cry a lot.
Well, I feel like every writer has a different process. For you going into this, did you know what the beginning, middle, end was going to be, or did you just kind of like let it go?
I'd attempted so many drafts of the story that I had a lot of ideas when I kind of went back to it in 2010. But no, I didn't know where we would end up. And in fact, like, I wrote a lot of terrible endings before we got to the eventual ending of the book. So it took me a while to get there.
What's a terrible ending for this?
I mean, epically terrible. Should I even say? You know, don't you, about the
Well, you got to tell us now.
the narco terrorist ending? You don't know about that?
No.
For real? I've never told you about that?
No.
All right, yeah, the first ending of the book, this is completely true. Hazel and...
Serious?
Yeah, this is entire... I wish this were a
Sometimes John
joke.
does little bits.
No, Hazel and Van Houten... oh, God. Hazel and Van Houten... all right, so Hazel and Van Houten decide that they want
After
to...
Gusta.
Yes, after spoiler alert, Hazel and Van Houten decide that they want to honor Augustus by finding a way to die in a sacrificial way that reflects something about who he was. And so they decide that they are going to find a drug lord and kill him, even though they themselves will die in a hail of bullets from all of the security around the drug lord.
Well, let me tell you, that sounds interesting, and I'm really glad that you tried that one, John. And I'm not an expert or anything, but I think I'm happy with the ending that you chose.
It's so like when my editor, you met Julie.
Yeah.
When my editor read the book for the first time, she was like,
it was in there.
oh yeah, it was in there. It was in there. They don't ever get to the hail of bullets part because
Does Walter White show up?
No, but they decide at the very end of the book that maybe that would be a bad idea. Almost like I myself
Decided
was
that
thinking
ending-
that maybe it would be a bad idea. And so my editor read the book, and she called me and she was like, the first 200 pages of this, while very problematic, are your most ambitious and interesting work. The last 40 pages, I can't tell if you're kidding. She was like, I can't tell if this is fan fiction or if this is like a joke, if this is some kind of performance art by you.
What do you think? I mean, it seems like so out of the. It seems almost like you're joking. What made you decide? I mean,
Can I tell you the first
Yeah,
ending
yeah.
of Paper Towns?
yes.
Margot goes to the disputed border region of India and Pakistan, Kashmir, and there's a terrible earthquake, and the building that she is in collapses, and Q is there at the end, digging through the rubble, and that's the end of the book.
So we're going to be making paper towns, and that won't be in it.
And I think on that note, we're going to wrap things up. John, you're
you so
awesome.
much.
Thank you, Nat. Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. That's kind of cool, though, that you had all those different endings.
You see the last thing in one of the drafts that I wrote. The last thing that you see is Margot's hand reaching up through the rubble.
You're kidding.
I'm not fucking
What?
kidding.
How does that relate to the rest of the book?